Mr. Pervez Karim Abbasi is an assistant professor at East West University. He's now joining us live from Dhaka, Bangladesh. Professor Abbasi, welcome to WION The World is One. It almost looks like Yunus is buying time and delaying on his decision to declare a date for the elections. He blames it on the protests as an impediment. What do you make of this development or assertion by critics?
Thank you for having me on your show. Well, right now, what we have is an impasse because Dr. Yunus, as you might recall, when he came to Dhaka, it was after the ouster of Sheikh Hasina, and that was by common consensus, and there was a mass of support or mass outpouring of support for him. And the impression that was given, and also by the interim government's chief advisor, which is Dr. Yunus, and again the advisors over there, that they would be holding sufficient amount of reforms to hold elections and also to start the process of a judicial trial for, again, people involved in the previous regime, namely Army League, who were involved in mass killings during the student uprising. But what has happened in recent times is that though Dr. Yunus has mentioned several times that the election should be taking place as soon as possible, by December preferably, but again, later on in some of his speeches, and especially with many of his advisors on his cabinet, they have hinted that the elections could be taking.
All right, that is Mr. Pervez Karim. We'll try and get him. We've lost him there. But this is an ongoing issue or a political crisis in Bangladesh, where the Bangladesh Nationalist Party has reiterated its demand for national elections by December and pressed the Muhammad Yunus-led interim government to announce a roadmap for the polls. Now, Yunus did meet Kandakar Musharraf, who led the BNP delegation, and said the topics of reform, justice and elections are not interrelated, and that reforms would continue if it is voted back to power. The BNP also stuck to its demand for resignation of two student representatives in the advisory council, Asif Muhammad and Mahfouz Alam. And this is an ongoing issue in Bangladesh. It is also, or the party, the BNP, has also sought the resignation of Yunus's national security advisor, Khalilur Rahman. Yunus also met representatives from Jamaat-e-Islami and the National Citizens Party, while the NCP demanded the reconstitution of the Election Commission and local government polls before the parliamentary elections. Shortly after his meetings with BNP and others, the secretary reaffirmed that he remained committed to holding elections between December and June. And Mr. Pervez is now back with us. Pervez, we had lost you there for a while.
Yes, for the technical difficulties.
It's okay.
Yes.
How will the administration avoid political discord over when to hold elections and growing tensions with the armed forces having left the interim government hamstrung?
Going back to the issue that from which, again, there's a technical disruption, the armed forces, especially the chief of armed forces, General Wakar, has been very strident and repeatedly that, again, that elections should take place as quickly as possible, and again December was his preferable date. And because remember that the army is out in giving support to the interim government in terms of establishing law and order, and it is his publicly stated opinion that, again, the longer the armed forces are out there, it is, again, it actually takes them away from their core duty, which is, again, protecting the border. So they want to go back to the cantonment. And this is what I've always said, that, again, this is a supreme irony, that this is indicative of the democracy deficit, because the Bangladesh Armed Forces, being a professional unit, has been consistently calling for smooth elections, very fair elections, and as quickly as possible. So this, again, has led him into, again, this degree of impasse where the armed forces has actually demanded that, again, the election should take place as quickly as possible. And BNP has also taken up the call that, again, the election should take place sooner rather than later. So we have an issue over here where, again, people within the interim government are saying that, again, the reforms should take place first, and then the enabling ground should take place, and then only you should have, again, elections, while BNP is stating that, again, because it is now the largest political party in play, that again reforms and elections are not mutually exclusive, and the interim government should carry along the minimal amount of reforms that can be feasibly carried out. And after that, they should hold the elections, which should be free and fair and inclusive. So this is the crux of the issue, because BNP believes that the longer that again the elections are delayed, they might lose their chance in basically participating in election. And the NCP, the National Citizens Party, that is a student-led party which is seen as to be very close to the interim government, and often it's seen that it's almost like it was operating like a king's party, at least according to BNP. And there's also certain issues that have been raised about, again, the other agendas of the government, interim government, for example, trying to, again, looking for a humanitarian corridor. So that has also raised more questions than answers.
Okay.
So BNP and, again, some of the other political parties, and, again, analysts have also stated that, again, such major undertakings should be carried out by elected representatives, not by an unelected government. So that is the crux of the issue.
Professor Parvez Abbasi, will have to leave it there. Thank you very much for your insights today.
Thank you.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.